World of Warcraft, as per usual for a Blizzard game, is experiencing some issues currently.
This is a topic that I kind of wanted to talk about. There's a few things that have been on my mind. I've been playing a ton of Arena, and I still feel like, I've been doing things like, my Discipline Priest Challenge and playing Brett Paladin and playing my alts in Solo Shuffle and queuing threes during the day. And I still feel like there is such a massive problem with deflation. And it could be the fact that there's not that many people playing. That could definitely be an issue.
Okay.
But if that is the case, I feel like they need to make some of these rewards like percent based or something like that. Like I don't.
Approximately players over 2.4k MMR, I'm assuming, in 3v3s 13 weeks into this season. I don't know. I think that's not a lot.
I don't know exactly what they need to do, but to start off, I want to show you guys this post that Lika made. If you guys don't know, Lika is the guy who made Drusvar, one of the websites that I reference quite a bit.
Okay.
But this is the approximate players over 2,400 in 3v3, 13 weeks into the season. Okay?
Okay.
So for reference, Shadowlands Season 1, 13 weeks into the season, there was 4,000, over 4,000 people in Europe.
That's a
and
lot.
Over 3,000, almost 4,000 people in North America.
Are you even trying,
Interestingly
America?
enough, it seems as time goes on, this is really weird. So we'll look at Season 2 before I finish that thought. Season
That's
2,
a huge drop.
obviously a huge drop-off from Season 1.
Yeah.
And I feel like a big part of the reason why so many people were high-rated in Season 1 is because people PvE'd for gear. So people PvE'd for the badge trinket, which was mega OP in PvP. And they also wanted to get a really good vault. So a bunch of people are playing this. What's interesting about Dragonflight, though, is I feel like these numbers are...
Wait, that's Dragonflight. Holy moly, look at this. Wow. Shadowlands did... Oh my. Shadowlands has done some irreversible damage to this game. Wow, that is actually unbelievable. And people call Dragonflight a good expansion. Wow.
Either one, because most people are just interested in Solo Shuffle at the moment. Like, when I run around and inspect people that are PvPing, most of them are like 1,000 rated in 2s, 1,000 rated in 3s, and then, whatever in Solo Shuffle. It's always their highest rating in Solo Shuffle. So that could be one of the reasons why we're seeing such a dip in Shadowlands.
Okay.
As you can see here, 574 and 571, a stark, almost like 10 times less. 8 times less, 7 times less than Shadowlands Season 1. And Dragonflight Season 2 is about the same, believe it or not. And what's interesting is Europe has taken the biggest hit.
Yeah, we Europeans don't just play a Blizzard game because it's a Blizzard game. If we don't like it, we just, don't play it. It's kind of that simple. Americans, though, on the other hand, are not capable of doing that.
Feels like Europe is even... I don't want to say dead. That's not the nicest word to say, but it's even less active than in North America, which is kind of crazy. I feel like a lot of people are just defaulting to Solo Shuffle, which, whatever. If people like Solo Shuffle more than rated 3v3, that's totally fine. But a consequence of that is one of the main rewards for PvPing, which is the Gladiator mount.
No, the main reward for PvPing is PvPing, not some kind of stupid mount.
Is very hard to get. It's very, very, very hard to get. And a bunch of people who prefer playing threes are now kind of like in this position. I've taught. It's not all anecdotal. I mean, I'm sure you guys can leave comments in this video, or I'm curious. I asked my stream, and a lot of people answered yes. Like, how many people got Gladiator in Shadowlands and cannot get it in Dragonflight? Like, how many people?
Okay.
Got to be a lot. I think it's quite a few. We're reliably getting Gladiator in Shadowlands, which, some people say is easy, whatever. At least it gives you something to work towards. But Dragonflight, very, very difficult. It is ramping up, but a separate problem is also Solo Shuffle MMR and some issues with Solo Shuffle. This isn't a new topic. This is something that I've talked about many times.
Okay.
I'm sure if you watch my channel, you have seen...
I have not seen those videos, by the way.
many videos on this as well, but there is a weird problem going on right now in solo shuffle with rating. So I feel like there's so many issues in the game that revolve around like weird matchmaking and not being able to get rating and not being able to get any rewards. And one of those is from solo shuffle. Like right now, I don't know what it is. Is it this week? I think it started this week or it started last week. But
okay,
it used to be the case. Like I'll give you an example. Let's say like I have my alt Spell Steal, and when I queue up on Spell Steal, I'm 2300 MMR. Okay, this is how it used to be. Okay, I could be 0 rating, 0 CR, 0 CR, 2300 MMR, and I would get into a
what is CR? I wonder.
2300 MMR lobby. Okay.
Okay.
And it would just play out as normal. I did really well. I'd gain some rating. Maybe I'd gain some MMR. You know, let's say I got into a 2300 MMR lobby. I went 5-1. Now my MMR, let's say I gained 500 rating because I was 0 CR. And because I went 500 or 5-1 in a 2300 lobby, I maybe gained like, you know, 70 MMR. Okay.
Wow.
So now I'm at 2370 MMR. This is how it used to be. Okay?
Makes sense.
This is how it used to be.
Okay.
Which to me made perfect sense. No big deal. Whatever. You're playing at your MMR. You're gaining rating based off your MMR. You're gaining, you know, CR and MMR based off your MMR. Now something weird happens. The new system is very bizarre. So let's take that exact same character with the new system. Now I get put into a 1600 lobby.
Because that's where you belong.
I get put into a 1600 lobby. Instead of playing at my MMR, I'm playing way closer to my CR. And I don't know if this is a bug or if this is an intentional change. But now higher rated characters are being put into lower lobbies, especially when they're lower rating, which is it's kind of abusive to low lobbies, to be honest with you.
What part of this doesn't make sense? For me, this seems completely expected. If the player base dwindles, you just, you know, put the higher players in a lobby with these people, but the opponent team is like, for example, let's say 180, okay, MMR. That's how they try to balance it out. Otherwise, you would probably never find a game with these numbers.
But let's say I go 5-1 in this lobby. Maybe I'll still gain, you know, 500 rating. Let's say I still gain 500 rating. I will actually lose MMR.
Oh, wow.
So instead of being 2300 MMR, I'll actually get minus 70 MMR for losing a single game. Even though in this lobby I went 5-1, because it's such a low lobby, the game punishes.
This just seems like Blizzard not knowing again what they are doing, honestly. Like, a system like this seems completely normal. A lot of games implement this, okay? Almost every game with an MMR system implements this to a certain extent. But the fact that you can win 5 games and be minus 70, that's wild. Okay, that's absolutely wild. He should be getting like 3 MMR from that game, okay? Because it's expected for him to like carry those games if he's actually good enough. Because keep in mind, the difference between the best of the best players and the best players is actually astronomical when it comes to competitive games. The difference between the best of the best players and I don't know, like the top 20%ers is literally unperceivably high. Okay? If World of Warcraft is a game of skill, he should go 6-0 essentially. But the fact that he and then he should gain like 1 MMR because there's no challenge in that, right? But this just minus 70 MMR, that's just Blizzard things, okay? We know how the devs look. We know how Blizzard does things. Honestly, yeah, this should be kind of expected. You know what? No, this is exactly what should have happened in a Blizzard game if I think about it.
Is you heavily. So even though I went 5-1 in the 1600 lobby, you could make an argument, oh, you should have 6-0'd.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably.
But it feels pretty bad to lose almost 100 MMR. And also, like, there's a few things going on here. Number one, with this new system, if you go 5-1, you lose MMR. Pretty shitty feeling. Number two, you're playing against people that are way out of your league. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're just playing in these lobbies where someone's just going to 6-0 or 5-1. You know what I mean? Every single time, because they're just playing their alt and they're just way better than the people in the lobby, which is
Yeah.
abusive to begin with.
I mean, I don't like the abusive argument, to be honest. When I was in the golden days of my youth, I wanted to play games in a good level, and I always loved the possibility of playing against someone who, MMR wise, is like 5 times higher than me, because that is the best learning experience you will have. You actually, playing against people who are of roughly your skill level only gets you above roughly them. That's not a lot, AK. But playing against someone really, really good, if you actually have the ability of learning properly, is so valuable.
But this is one issue that's going on in Solo Shuffle right now. It actually feels like Solo Shuffle is even more deflated than before. And Rated Arena also, I don't know, this is just like a random rant video, but Rated 3v3 feels weird because when I queue on my highest rated characters, it feels like MMR is going up. But when I queue during the day, it doesn't feel like the middle section is actually going up, which is weird. Like, people that are like hard stock 2200, I feel like they're not slowly climbing. They're still just hard stock 2200. But like the upper echelons, like the top...
yeah, it makes sense again because those people are only playing against themselves, and then and the second echelon above that is like the BlizzCon type of crowd, which means the difference is going to be severe, and chances are in that MMR you are not capable of improving. Most likely, you actually need to start seeing what other good people are doing, except for yourself.
Top 100 is continuing to like go up and up and up, and I don't know if that's because no MMR is being like injected into the system because nobody plays during the day, or it's like there's such a gap at this point. I really don't know what it is.
She's fine. Blink OP.
Yeah, it's just really weird. Another problem that's going on right now, speaking of Solo Shuffle, is healers. Like, whatever's going on,
no one
healers,
wants to
man.
heal.
I've tried. I'm sorry, guys. If you're a healer, I've tried very hard
to do.
I've tried very hard to make videos and make things better. I mean, obviously, I don't know. It's a complicated topic, but
see, this is why you need a girlfriend, so your girlfriend can heal you. And let's face it, every girl that plays World of Warcraft is a healer at the end of the day. It's true, and you know it.
You have these situations as a healer. What's up, Dilbar? How you doing? You have these situations as a healer where like it's so hard to gain rating. It's so punishing. It's so hard to gain rating. Like Lone Tar made this post. That's what he said. He said, one of the reasons why Solo Shuffle is slowly dying is because of this. Sure, the other healer is low MMR, and I shouldn't get much rating if I win, but if I win the lobby 4-2, I should get rewarded, even if it's just a little bit. Instead, I lose MMR. So, like, imagine that. Lone Tar just queues up a...
Again, Blizzard is just balancing these things off of an Excel spreadsheet, and someone accidentally just added, like, a minus or a plus where it wasn't supposed to be, and that's pretty much probably it.
Competitive mode. And sure, he's playing against a healer that's a little bit lower rated than him, but that's not his fault.
Wait, stop. I'm pretty sure the game literally doesn't even take into account are you a healer or a DPS or a tank or whatever you queued. It just literally cares about your MMR, not what role you are playing it in as. I think that's irrelevant. I don't think healers have their own type of matchmaking bracket.
A coin flip, right? You just flip a coin, and if the other healer is lower MMR than you, you're screwed. And if he's higher MMR than you, then it's Yahtzee, right? It's just the luck of the draw, which is really, really unfortunate. So in this lobby, you can see that he won 4 games out of the 6, and he lost MMR. He got 0 rating, and he lost MMR.
Nice.
Now, this is happening to healers all over the place. Like, I've been playing my Disc Priest a lot, and it's actually hard.
Is this really a thing? Do healers have their own MMR bracket where they're supposed to compete with the other healer? That seems... No, actually, no, that seems exactly like something Blizzard would screw up.
It's like it's hard as a healer to do better than 3-3. Like, 3-3 is very respectable as a healer, right? Like, especially if there's one DPS that's just like a mega carry in the lobby, but when you 3-3, you just get nothing. And then if you happen to get another, like, let's just say you go 3-3, you get nothing. Sometimes you actually lose rating for going 3-3. If the enemy healer or your opponent is lower MMR than you, even if you tie and go 3-3, you lose MMR. Really making negative progress for tying.
Yes, that should be,
which is a very frustrating feeling. And then on top of that, if you happen to get in another lobby and it's the same thing, you're just slowly scoobying your MMR. And then let's just pretend you go 2-4. Or let's even pretend that, you know, you've gone 3-3 against a lower MMR healer 3 times. So you tie again, you tie again. Then you get into a lobby, they're lower MMR once again, but you actually win the lobby. You go like 5-1 or you go 4-2. This is your first game. Because your MMR has been slowly tanking, you actually get almost no reward whatsoever for winning. So even when you win, you're not really gaining any rewards. It's so
that
weird.
Makes even less sense. If your MMR has been tanking because of those, you know, equal tie outcomes, then, well, when you finally win, you should kind of get something because I assume your MMR has been tanked. So, and I don't know. Blizzard's a wild place that doesn't do a lot correctly.
Weird. It's actually so...
Probably some kind of lesbian made this happen in World of Warcraft. And hey, I'm probably right. Again, we have all seen who's making the games at Blizzard. It's literally, if your resume doesn't contain 15 pronouns, you're probably not getting hired at Blizzard at this point. That company is just gone.
Difficult to climb rating as a healer. And I was speaking with Dilbar, who happens to be in my stream right now. He told me on the second day of the season,
okay,
he got 2460 rating. And since the second day of the season, 13 weeks in, he has not been able to break 1500. Or not 1500, 2500.
Okay.
So he hasn't been able to go up 40 rating at 13 weeks.
He sucks.
Like something about that seems really, really weird. Right? And once again, if healers aren't playing, we're sitting long queues. You can see right now I'm in a almost 20-minute queue. I just sat a 30-minute queue on my ret. It takes a while. Healing is actually, like, gameplay-wise, healing's not that bad, but it makes it really bad when you have such a small margin for error, and even if you win a lobby, you
not that bad.
Don't get anything. And sometimes you win a lobby and you actually lose MMR like this. Like, it's really, really, really frustrating. So as a DPS, it's tough to climb. As a healer, it's tough to climb. 3v3 is in kind of a weird spot now too, because it feels like 3v3 is still super deflated. I don't know, man. It's weird. It's like...
Well, but finally seeing what's happening when you introduce a new game mode. This is why card games don't introduce a lot of new game modes, because this is the risk, right? You dilute your existing player base, and this is what happens because of solo shuffle. I bet a lot of people who would have otherwise been high rating, or at least farmable to get high rating, now are not playing because solo shuffle is just so much more simpler to actually do, probably.
Gearing, there's this problem right now where gearing is really easy, which I love. Like, getting gear is really easy. Play alts, it's really fun. But there's the sense of progress that people have in the game. Like, people still want to have that feeling of progress.
Yeah, and
they want to have that feeling of improving. They want to get the rewards, etc., etc., etc. But it feels like because MMR/inflation is so stagnant right now, you can't even gain the rewards. Like, people aren't gaining rating. They're not getting their rewards. It's just really, really tough. I feel bad. Like, I was talking with my stream about this earlier. I feel like there's not much of like a middle class in WoW anymore. You know what I mean? It's like the middle class is just getting stomped out of all the rewards by just rank 1 players and gladiator players on their alts. You know? People on their 5th DK, or, you know, the people just...
At least they can play the game for a little bit. But yeah, it's right. You need players. You know what's the funny part about MMR? MMR is capped. It's not actually an infinity system. And MMR is literally usually capped by the amount of players that are actually in the system. If you don't have enough players, you don't have a situation. Because the best players in the world are always going to be at the top. And this is that situation. They have no one to play against. But, well, if you don't have enough players, there's not going to be enough people slowly starting to reach them. It's not a matter of the fact that those people who are slowly starting to reach the best players are still incredibly less skillful than the best players, but at least they're reaching them, so the best players can, again, climb even higher and higher.
But like me, I mean, I have a bunch of different classes right now. I have a Ret Paladin, I have a Windwalker Monk, I have 2 Mages, I have a Restos Shaman, a Discipline Priest. Not that those are very threatening, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not the only one either. Like, most people have tons and tons and tons
Not playing a rogue in World of Warcraft. I mean, where did your parents go wrong?
and tons of alts that they're queuing on. I know these are people that play all day, like me, but it's just, I don't really know. Like, I feel like at this point in the season, it should be like how it was in Season 1, where, like, people should be 3,200, 3,300. You know what I mean?
Not enough players.
And people that are 2,400 actually aren't just fighting the best players in the entire game. There needs to be, like, more of a gap. Bro, I thought it was going crazy. I thought healing fast-tracked to some rating. I could not climb. It's so heartbreaking. You actually can't gain rating as a healer. It's actually
wild to me that now, yeah, he's not mistaken. From everything he says, it does seem like healers have their own MMR bracket, which is the stupidest thing ever.
Really crazy. You have to be really fucking good. Like, I'm doing a Discipline Priest challenge right now, and I unironically am... I almost got 2,100. I was 1 game away from 2,100, and then I scubaed to 1,800. And now I'm actually hard stuck 1,900 again. It's crazy, man.
That's great.
Like, maybe you guys think I'm not the best player, but I feel like I have a pretty good awareness. You know, I understand all the classes. I'm pretty good at cooldown trading. Like, I know general strats. Like,
okay. Wait, isn't Vinrookie like a BlizzCon champion and still contender? I think that makes him pretty good, you know?
And I can't get 2,100. I just can't do it on my Disc Priest. It's so fucking hard. It's crazy. So, I mean, the hope for people to actually get like 2,400 is pretty low.
Sucks to
really crazy. I don't know.
They're just gonna change the system at some point, honestly, you know? They are gonna do it. Because also, remember, this is not an issue for a lot of people. This is an issue probably for maybe 30 people in the whole world. Most likely. Most likely that is legitimately an issue just for like 30 people in the whole of the entire world of Warcraft. Because they are the super minority, because they are just the super best players that there are. It is what it is. Anyway, I feel that that's it. That's it. Great stuff. Very interesting. World of Warcraft's dying. Wow. Who would have expected that from Blizzard? Ruining a game. Anyway, this was Kuzar Says, and thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.